Alrighty, good evening everybody and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We're going to hold on as long as we can. A massive power outage is here on my end, so we are trickling on in here to Eldora Speedway where we're going to take a quick little look at what this race is going to consist of as we can hold on. 40 laps will be the feature here tonight, seeing that we are landing in the dirt. 2 to 3 heats of each. Leading to that will end up being about 10 laps of each. Caution laps will not count. Obviously, 100% fuel limit. Tires most likely will not matter here in a fixed setup. Fortunately, these guys will have a faster pair. And I'll be your lead producer tonight. Stella, I don't believe will be able to join us. I think she's dead in the water as well. Something tells me she might live close, seeing that she is suffering some of the same exact problems that we are having over here. So I'm not sure if somebody smacked into a power pole, but we're going to see how it goes. All right, let me take a look here. Right now, at our starting grid here for heat number 1, Kyle Rochelle and Jake Gladdick will be starting 1 and 2. Vincent Arthur will be 3rd, next to Joey Stats. Coy Pennington will be starting in 5th, next to Josh Conover. Moving us on to Cody Height, our 7th place driver here in the front. Well, I'm hoping that some of these guys here in the front, like most dirt racing that we do see here, is that they will actually end up, the winners will move on to the feature, but they're still tumbling up with 100% how they're going to be running that. So we'll definitely hold our breath and see how it goes. Right now, we are still waiting for the grid here. We are in the cars, and we are ready to go. There we go, formation lap. Finally, get that car going here. Right now, I think that truck is a little here on edge right now. Jay even saying no bueno. Yeah, you're right. Tell me about it. I am a little nervous and shaken up here on this side. Hoping that we are going to make it here to the end. Maybe a stroke of good luck here in 30 minutes. We'll be locked back in. If you guys do hear a beeping there in the background, that is fortunately my battery backup. That is hopefully going to be saving me here tonight. Right now, I'm seeing one driver stuck down on the bottom. That looks like Josh Conover currently. Waiting to see him get going here. Right now, I think he's trying to hack away and take care of some admin issues there on the bottom. Take a look. They tried to match their paints up the best that they could. Joey Stats still out there in the Kellogg's machine. Looks like, I believe, Vincent Arthur is out there in the mellow yellow. And Josh Conover going ahead and making sure he stays in that Budweiser car. And we'll be back underway here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and see. Let me see if I can get this working. Yeah, baby. There we go. Looking good here. So that is going to be our breakdown that you see there toward the top. We're going to try to mash these guys up and let them rip here. Starting lights, let's go. Right now, Kyle Rochelle and Vincent Arthur moving off front there really quick. Coy Pennington with a quick slider down onto the bottom. Right now, he's trying to see if he can cut off that number 20 Home Depot car there with Jacob Gladdick. No dice as Vincent Arthur up toward the top. Right now, quick, Coy Pennington. Boy, he's finding a lot of success riding there on the bottom and then sliding up toward the top. Look at Vincent Arthur, tuck the nose underneath the rear bumper and is on a roll. 2 laps into it here as they continue to roll on through. 39 and Kyle Rochelle thought he may have been untouchable, but that seems to not be the case. Coy Pennington is looking for it there in the number 15. I'm showing 84 here on our screen, but right now Pennington is diving down here to the bottom. Scraping the edge right now, sliding up toward the top. Into the wall goes Kyle Rochelle. That's going to unfortunately give him no luck here, but the 39 trying to switch it up. Down to the bottom again as we see Josh Conover, Vincent Arthur in the background fighting for 3rd. We're going to stick here to our lead, where Kyle Rochelle, only halfway through this heat, is diving back into turn 1 and 2. Right front tire hopping a little bit here. Yeah, finally gets a good bite. Launches off through 1 and 2. Now back down into 3 and 4. Finally, looks like Coy Pennington may have his work cut out for him here as we switch back here to Josh Conover. He said turn off that spotter out there. There's no sense in doing it. The guys are all over the place and seeing if they can hold on to it and keep it going. Pennington taking another look here to the inside. Right now as he continues to dive on through. Right now he's only got a few more laps to make this move work as we move here to the right front fender. Coy Pennington here right now looking at the 39 of Kyle Rochelle. Rochelle definitely throwing that car in there, slamming that weight on that right rear tire. Plant and go. Good move. Contact with the wall here with Pennington. That's going to cost him. Right now, Pennington rides up into the cushion, up toward the top, see if he can get a little more speed. I think this will be with the winning strategy here if he can figure out how to plant that power gets the huge run through the front stretch, and he's moving on to the back. Only 2 laps left to go. White flag this time by. Right now, Pennington found his mark. Down to the bottom, slider. Down to the bottom, up toward the top. He's got the lead. White flag is out. Kyle Rochelle sits down on the bottom, trying to put the target car in front of him, but the 39 not coming up with any sort of speed. Certainly, Coy Pennington has found the cushion, plants and launches around. He goes. He's going to be the winner here of Heat 1. Kyle Rochelle will sit in second, moving on to Josh Conover in third. Not bad there for a first heat. We'll find the rest of our guys here in just a moment as they get ready to lock and load and get back out there onto the track. Hopefully they're going to go ahead and push this on to the next run. Check that out. Nice four-wheelers out there. Barney and his friends out there. That's apparently his drinking buddies hanging down toward the bottom. Be ready to get this going. All right, heat number 2 getting ready here. Drivers getting in their cars. As they take a look at the track, there's slight wear on the track, but not as much as we would have hoped. They're definitely kind of scrambling to see if they can come up with any opportunities out there. They will have a slight warm-up after that. I know Tyler DeTalent is pretty excited about being on the track here tonight, so let's find out where Tyler DeTalent is going to start. Now, in the number 1 spot, that's where he'll be in the 31 Singular Wireless car, next to Christopher Heights. Nick Gillis sits third. Brady Moats is going to be our 4th place driver. Let's see if he can work the system on this one and see if he can trust the process. Moving on to Nick Pressey, who sits in 5th. Kevin Ballmer is our 6th place starter. He'll be in the back. And Eric Essery, not bad. Looks like the Tide car able to return. Love to see these guys be able to reach out there and grab a hold of their actual real sponsor that is on the car during the Gen 4s and let these guys have at it here. One more time around, and they're going to be back under green here. Christopher Heights and Tyler DeTalent excited about tonight's race. They're hoping for a heck of a run here and trying to see if they can do something about it. Right now, I would place my money out there on Brady Moats flying up to the front. I got a feeling we're going to see him contact the wall a couple of times, though. But can Tyler DeTalent show us something we haven't seen before? Normally, he is a part-time driver. We see him kind of hanging there in the back. He's got friends out there, especially John DeTalent, running him, rooting for him. But the 31, he's going to have his chance. Away we go. Right now, quick and off to the start here. Tyler DeTalent getting away. A quick little skirt in the dirt here for the number 12 of Nick Gillis. Gillis already starting to stay out of the trouble there that's on the bottom as the trouble is brewing between the 1 and 2 of Heights and Moats. Moats goes ahead and gives a little bump there to the Miller Genuine Draft car and sends him to the outside wall. That's going to do it for Heights as he's up into the chocolate chip, smashing into the wall. Hopefully he's able to recover. Right now, watch Moats as he's got the turn exit speed, crossover, down on the bottom. Right now, looking to put Kevin Baumler into it. Tyler DeTalent still leading the race, and he is going to be uncontested here. Gillis is still not finding any kind of a rhythm to grab a hold of him yet, as he's fallen down by 0.3 of a second just the last lap. So DeTalent doing an awesome job here, but as the track sets in, gets a little slick here for the front tires. The pace is starting to pick up. Not bad here for last laps, around 15.75 out there. That is only about 0.2 slower than their normal best time out here on the track halfway into this run. Brady Moats still choosing the top line, gives a shove to Kevin Ballmer. He says, take that bad boy machine and get it out of my way. Number 1 going to smack into him again. Right now, Moats is all over him, not interested in giving up an inch. Right now, let's hop on top here with Kevin Ballmer. Ballmer sliding on past the Brady Moats, who's made an opportune moment. Take a look as we try to get through a cockpit view here. Little trouble as we see nothing but mud all over the screen. We'll see if we can move here to the outside. Beautiful weather here at Eldora is currently Tyler DeTalent out front. Nick Gillis sitting second. Kevin Baumler is third. Notice down back on the bottom. Baumler not giving up, though. He wants to get and hold on to third. Remember, top winners here move on to the feature. They're going to try to get up toward the front before they get inverted. Here comes Brady Moats. Once again, full on send through 3 and 4. He slashes past Kevin Ballmer and now is trying to immediately take on Tyler DeTalent. DeTalent knows he's only got 2 laps left to go. He's got a gaggle of cars behind him and he wants to pick up the pace. Right now, the 31 gets turned here. Brady Moats dumps him. Baumler going to go ahead and head on off. No caution will be called here as the white flag came out. Baumler was crossing the line, and that is going to lead Brady Moats to the second spot. Tyler DeTalon is going to be finishing down in the 6th position. Led every lap except the last one, and that's the one that obviously counts. Wow. I know John out there is probably throwing, hopefully, foam bricks at the screen there, as Brady Moats right there is now going to be public enemy number 1. I don't think they're really going to appreciate that. He's going to have to definitely clean up his act if he wants to keep racing in this. Wow. Did not expect to see that one coming there from Brady Moats. Well, we talk a little bit about out there about shuffling it around a little bit and trusting the process. That is not what we mean. Wow. Alrighty. Kind of poke around a little bit here and see what we can find out there on the track. See how many. Let me see if I can actually separate this a little bit and show you guys a few more of the drivers. I know we're only cutting off, I think, the top 5 or 6 out there. But we're going to see if we can get that squared away and fixed up here. Still waiting for Kurt Quist to get out here onto the track. Unfortunately, he is dragging our start time here. I don't know about you guys. Dirt racing, I like getting to the next round. Let's go ahead and get him fired up and rolling. I don't have time for this. Let's go. Kurt Quist, there he is. Finally gets in the car. And we'll be ready to go here in just a moment. Waiting for the pace car to go ahead and get fired up. Looks like Barney is... There he goes. Yep, signals to him to get going here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our next round is going to be here for the start of grid number 3. Kurt Quist, the one who made us hang out there in the 06 machine. He'll be starting in the first spot next to Dustin Kleba, the favorite to win here tonight. Oddly enough, that the Ray Evernham Motorsports gang is sitting here, sitting in 2nd and 3rd. Reeder is our 3rd place driver. Patrick Lucio will be starting in 4th. Hoppy 5th. Monteith is going to be 6th. And Matthew George 7th. Glad to see Logan Monteith return back here. Haven't seen him in a little while. He's kind of been playing a little bit of a hiatus with us with the NORA League. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX. We're holding on the best we can here via an electrical outage here. See out there in the chat, Tyler DeTalon feeling just about the way everybody else and his fans are feeling as well. Seeing that he kind of got smushed out here and is going to be in it. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the roll here. Alrighty, here we go. Kurt Quist, Cody Reeder, Dustin Kleba sitting 1, 2, and 3. Blake Hoppy already sitting in 3rd, trying to fight his way up to the front. Now he sits 4th. Sliding on by, looks like the number 28 car of Kurt Quist is going to go ahead and pull away here as he's got a huge gaggle of cars behind him. Patrick Lucio, one of them in the 33, who's currently caught down, on the high side. That's actually a 33 of Logan Monteith that is trying to slide on through. No dice. Where's Dustin Kleba, though? If you want to know, he's sitting currently behind the 19 machine, and we are seeing if he can hold on here. Right now, he's trying to get that Mopar machine up to the front. Currently holding on to 2nd is the 19 of Cody Reeder. His own teammates flying underneath. Kleba, slider out in front. He holds him. Right now, the 28 car trying to see if he can stick it right back. Chris seeing if he can get tier between 1 and 2. No dice. Kleba's going to go ahead and lead this one. 19 machine of Cody Reeder now going to go and dial in for the 2nd spot. Not bad. 28 definitely becoming unfortunately, the giver of positions right now as everybody is currently passing Kurt Quist. Patrick Lucio looks like there was a problem with him back on lap number 4. As that took him out, and he is going to be finishing in the 7th position as he heads down in the pit. Not looking good there as we continue to keep rolling, keeping this roll on. Dustin Kleba, Cody Reeder, Kurt Quist sitting 1, 2, and 3. Logan Monteith still looking for a battling spot. Right now, he's unfortunately holding on to Kurt Quist there. Remember, the 28 had been falling back for quite some time. Dustin Kleba still leading out in front by now 1 second. Not bad here as Kurt Quist looking to fire back at Cody Reeder. Reeder doesn't lose 1, almost loses 2 as Logan Monteith is looking to fire underneath. Monteith on the bottom. Here we go, Kurt Quist off the wall. Here we go. Cody Reeder now is looking down toward the, up on the high side. As currently we are seeing Logan Monteith go from 4th up to 2nd, but can he hold on to it? He's got 2 laps to figure it out. White flag next time by. Currently the 33 of Logan Monteith is holding on very tight here to the high line, rides the edge of the cushion here. This will give him the run out of the turn and put Kurt Quist way into the rearview mirror. But can Cody Reeder set him up here and maybe wait for a mistake? We'll see. Right now, this is Cody Reeder sitting in that 3rd spot, taking a look for another angle here. We hop on board here with Cody Reeder. Dustin Kleba takes the checkered flag. And Monteith, Reeder. Whew, that's top 3, boys. It's going to put Matthew George down in the 6th position. Blake Hoppy will finish in 5th. Little trouble out there from Patrick Lucio. I hate seeing him getting knocked out there. Quick little warm-up here before these guys go live. And we'll see if they can hold on to it. So, unfortunately, the warm-up will continue, though. Try and make it as far as we can here. We'll see what we got going on.
I'll go ahead and roll it right now, actually. But so what I meant real quick while this is rolling.
All right, I got you live. Josh, what's going on here with the race, bud?
So I messaged earlier and said the top 2 finishers get their time back. So what that means is in qualifying, for instance, I was quick time, Cabin was 2nd. If I would have finished, even if I finished 2nd, the iRacing would have lined me up, I believe, 4th. But because I was quick time, I would have been on the pole. But obviously since I finished 3rd, I'll keep my spot. So like in my heat, it was Rochelle and Pennington.
Yep.
So Pennington being the faster qualifier would get his time back, and so would Rochelle. Rochelle, out of the 3 heats, was the slowest of the top 2, so he will start 6th. Balmer and Monteith were the quickest, so they'll be your front row. Pennington and Moats would be row 2. Kleba and Rochelle will be row 3. Kind of confusing, but when we inverted the fields after the heats, that just makes it a little easier so guys don't sandbag in qualifying and then start up front in the heat race.
Alrighty, man. Awesome. Well, how you think this race is going to turn out? All right, now I hear my last warning signals out from over my my battery backup here. Who do you think's the favorite to win here tonight?
I'm going to stick on the front row. I think it's going to be Cavan or Monteith. Coy might give him a run. I think he's going to join us the rest of the year as well, actually. But like I said, I'm going to go Cavan or Monteith myself.
All right. Josh, good luck to you out there, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody is getting ready and getting in the car. That's going to bring us up to our last bit here. Unfortunately, like I said, we're going to try to hold on as long as we can here. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be just missing it. Coy Pennington, Kevin Balmer sitting 1 and 2. Dustin Cleveland, Kyle Rochelle sit 3 and 4. Moving on to Brady Moats and Logan Monteith for row number 3. Josh Conover sits 7th next to Eric Essery. Cody Reeder 9th. Vincent Arthur 10th. Christopher Heights is 11th. And Kurt Quist will be starting in that number 12 position. Moving on to the rest of our field where Joey Stats and Nick Pressey start for row 7. Blake Hoppy's 15th. Cody Heights 16th. Tyler DeTalent, after getting unfortunately spun out, down to 17th. Matthew George is 18th. Jacob Gladelick, Nick Geilis, Patrick Lucio. That's going to leave us with 21 drivers here tonight. I hate seeing that we're going to be, I'm afraid, missing a good piece of it here, but we're going to give it a go. Right now, I'm thinking Kevin Balmer definitely lining this up here. Right now, we are definitely holding our breath as here we go. Kevin Balmer out front. 40 laps is going to be in this show here tonight. Remember, there is the caution laps will not count. They're going to continue this roll here as they keep mashing towards the front. And we'll see if we can get, there we go. Now I got Johnny. That definitely wears you out, doesn't it? All right, needs about 30 seconds to go ahead and bring that thing on back. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this back underway. Remember, caution laps do not count. It'll be a quick little two-lap shootout here. Looked like Eric Essery broke off the right front wheel. Boy, those guys are going to go ahead and keep fighting out that rear end there. And now full send is right now. White flag is out. Kevin Walmer signaling on the side. Boy Pennington will be going ahead and trying to hold on to second. Very, very close, and he's going to go ahead and fight it off. I think the real question is who's going to come third. Right now it looks like Josh Conover is going to hold on to it here as they come across the start-finish line. Should go ahead and have that mark. All right, now rough race here. Hate to see it. Hate it for you guys. Sorry I wasn't able to get the entire thing in here. Once we ended up losing the power here. Fortunately, they found a perfect time to go ahead and cut the power out. It's a little frustrating. It's like kind of joining in at the end of the race. I don't know how people do it, but they do. Alright, appreciate you guys hanging in there. Sorry I was able to get you guys to at least try to show what you guys saw while I fought the other end. The first thing was trying to boot it up, at least that way you guys could see the racing. Let's see if we can fight the other end of that. It's not bad here for our top three. I'll see if I can find a way to show you guys where everybody ended up here right at the end here on the feature, as everybody's in the process of parking up there for a photo. Yeah, the only one I'm missing, should have everybody there. Alrighty. Like I said, sorry about that, guys. I hate seeing it kind of chunking out like that. Definitely a heartbreaker for sure. Not being able to get back on or get back at it, but we'll take a moment here to talk a little bit to Josh Conover, who was able to come in third here tonight. Josh, boy, missed a decent chunk of it. Talk to me about how this race ended up kind of finishing out for you guys, and you ended up third.
I was actually just getting ready to message you, Pat. I was going to see if you wanted me to save the replay, because we had a green-white checkered, and I don't think I've ever sweat so much so fast ever. And that was a crazy finish. I'm actually kind of speechless. I'm impressed with how tonight ran.
Yeah, I was able to make it in with you guys having at least 10 laps to go. I think I made it back about lap 27. So I needed 30 seconds, and the power came back on, and obviously rebooting back up and trying to fight all that back together, that was a headache. So talk to me a little bit about this race, kind of, you know, what it did to number 8. What were you guys able to do out there?
It was a little tricky. I normally try and like reset the track so it's a little, as us dirt guys say, tackier to start the feature. But I figured it wasn't too bad, you know, after that last heat race, and then, you know, I kind of wanted to go with it, and it seemed to work. The beginning of the race was, I thought, really good, and then it kind of obviously slicked up at the end, and I think it's kind of when we saw some of our issues. But I know everybody that I was in Discord with, we had the whole crew tonight, they were having a blast. They were laughing, throwing slide jobs. Even me, for the most part, I was running 5th or 6th with Dustin, and he's saying he's never sweat so much. Like, he's already sweated through his shirt, and that was a blast, man. That's what I tried telling him all week, last week, you know, just because it's dirt, you know, don't be afraid. Come on and run. We got guys that will help you. I actually don't think I helped anybody. I think everybody kind of held their own and did their own thing, but man, that was fun. I'm ready for 40 more laps. That was insane.
Yeah, I actually thought 40 was going to be kind of short for a feature. Maybe you guys stretch it out to 15 per heat, but that would have been even crazier. All right, well, is seeing how dirt went here tonight, is there a possibility we may see dirt in the future?
Um, maybe. Uh, I don't think I've actually said it on the broadcast. I mean, knock on wood, I don't think I've actually been interviewed that much this year. But this series is by the drivers for the drivers. About 3/4 way through the season, we'll open up voting. The team owners will vote on what they want next year. So you never know. Maybe we see a Gen 4 on dirt, or we'll definitely have this race again next year. Maybe the league owner won't mess up the laps, and the caution laps actually won't count like they're supposed to, and we can get an actual 40 lap feature in. But
Ah,
no,
that's how I
I've
that's how I missed so many. Oh my gosh, I was like, dude, how did I come back and you guys already chewed off 27 laps? That was impressive. So I figured it was
yeah.
green flag most of the time.
Well, it was. I think we had 3 cautions, maybe. It might have actually been 4, but we actually had decent runs. I think our shortest run might have been like maybe 5 laps or so, maybe, and that was, I want to say, right about in the middle or so. But yeah, it wasn't all too bad. It's possible. I know, like I said, a lot of guys didn't run. I can't say a lot, but some guys didn't run because it's dirt, and we don't like that. But we had 21 cars, guys that probably just bought the car and ran their first laps, and some guys that are obviously primary asphalt, and they were all having a blast. Like Vinny's laughing the entire time with Brady. Matt was even having a good time. I think Cody Height, who despises dirt, was running top 10 most of the race. I think like it was great, and feelings weren't really hurt. Like everybody got together, and there was contact, but nobody was throwing a fit, and we all kind of seemed to laugh it off. So I'm impressed how tonight went. And obviously no points makes it easier to kind of get over that kind of stuff, but man, that was crazy. I know you said you came back, so did you actually see the finish?
Yes, I was on the second caution you guys had on lap number 27. And then I saw the last caution, which I thought was kind of weird. It looked like Christopher Heights put it in reverse, and it was enough to throw the flag. And then I saw you guys green white checkered it to the end. I called that part. I was able
Dude,
to.
like I said, I was kind of struggling. I didn't have Cavan or Coy, or really even Rochelle or Logan's pace, and then obviously the caution bailed me out at the end. But like Dustin and I were having a dogfight. Like I'm giving it all I got, and fifth or sixth is what I was going to get, and then that caution came out, and I don't know. I found something. I'll take it for sure. I'll didn't expect it, but that was, like I said, that was a blast. I'm just almost speechless. Doesn't seem like it, but speechless.
All right, Josh. Shout out time then, brother.
Well, you for the coverage. I know you were having trouble, and I appreciate you, running on your backup battery and getting back in here. Hopefully, it was a good show. I think the heats ran pretty well, and like I said, the feature was surprisingly clean and green for them. I mean, considering, but everybody that ran, like I said, 21 cars on a late model race. I kind of expected, maybe 14, 15, but you know, like I said, I'm glad guys came out and ran, and I think it was, for lack of better words, a hell of a show.
All right, Josh. Congratulations on your third place finish, buddy. And we'll see how you do here upcoming weeks, man. I know back to the asphalt. Now, hopefully, guys don't try to drift it into turn one the exact same way. All right, Josh. Good luck to you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna wish we ran Eldora again. Could actually put points on the line. I need a good finish in the point title chase.
Oh boy. Oh, and yeah. Now all of a sudden it won't be laughing and giggling out of the 24 anymore.
Yeah, it'll be real serious at that point.
Yep. 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 All right, Josh. We'll talk a little bit later.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. All right, moving on to our second place finisher. I believe I caught up with him, the 84 machine out there at Coy Pennington. Man, dude, how did this race kind of work out for you out there?
Well, I mean, first half was okay. Then I started creating bad habits with myself. I'm used to like the non-wing store wing stuff in general, like sprint cars, midgets. Used to the big blocks, and like I can get close to the wall. Like that sense of feeling with the wall. I just like once we got to halfway, it kind of went away. So like I'm dragging into the corner, beating the wall down through the center or through the corner itself, and it's just I was killing myself. I was hurting myself more than there was anything else, and I was able to kind of mess with Cavan a little bit on the starts and slide him those first couple of laps when we'd come into a restart. And so that last restart kind of played into my hand, but I beat the wall down getting in, so it just kind of hurt me from there.
All right, well, we noticed, taking a look at the track, it doesn't look like anybody really rode the cushion too much here tonight. if this thing had, let's say, doubled the laps, would it have changed the outcome for you?
Maybe, maybe not. I couldn't run as consistent laps as Kevin. Like, if the bottom, I figured out, like, coming to the checkered flag, like, the bottom was still there, and I opened up my entry and was able to drive it straight, but it would have killed me going down to the other end if we had more laps. So, I mean, maybe, but Kevin would have had to have made more mistakes than I was, and I was just making too many mistakes.
Yeah, well, a lot of guys were saying you were out there really racing it out there tonight. It was definitely one of the cars that needed to be watched very, very closely. But you definitely put on a heck of a show. Unfortunately, here in the broadcast, we had some technical difficulties. But we were able to come in and see how you finished. And it was close. It looked like you tried to throw it a couple more times right there. Very close. And just no cigar, man. Very, very close. So, what is there anything you would have changed tonight to see if other than maybe more practicing or kind of more speed, or would the track have had had a little humidity? Would that have helped?
I mean, I'm comfortable with the track and the way it widened out and the way it was running. The only thing I really complained about, like, with myself, was my restarts. Kevin, I was able to talk to Kevin afterwards, and he was dragging the brake and running the gas at the same time to where it'd take off better, and I was just watching him. When he take off, I'm just stomping the gas and going. So I feel like if I was able to get probably one or two restarts, I would have been door to door with them going into one, I would have been okay. Because then, like, I would have had clearing air, been able to set my own pace and drive away from Cabin. Because I feel like once we got some laps in, I was able to reel him down. But it's the restarts, like, he's good enough to where he could maintain even with my mistakes. So it was just, maybe if we had more laps, I don't know. But we ran the laps that we ran, and here we are.
All right, man. Shout out time. You got the floor. Anybody out here watching you? Sponsors on the car?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I just like to thank Josh for this, man. I kind of begged him to run this, and he let me run, probably willingly, but promised him I wouldn't wreck anybody, and we're here. So, I mean, handful of people I want to thank, but they're not in the car. I just kind of found this wrap and ran it. So, here we are.
Awesome, buddy. All right, congratulations on your second place finish, man, and hopefully we'll see you kind of rolling out there on the asphalt a little bit.
I've been wanting to. It's just I run a busy schedule, man. I work on sprint cars outside of here, so in the next month we're going to Houston, Knoxville, stuff like that too. So if I can, I will. But if I can't, oh well.
Ooh, Knoxville. That'll be close to me. Hopefully that track isn't powered by GEA. All right, all right, Mr. Pennington. Congratulations, buddy, and we'll see you in the coming weeks, hopefully.
Yes, sir. That'll work, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, awesome job. That's going to bring us on to Kevin Baumler, where I guarantee you he's kind of holding his breath here. Ended up coming away with the win here tonight. Kevin, boy, flag to flag here. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. Ever since I saw we were doing the Prelude on the schedule, I kind of had it circled, knowing that I have a dirt background. It's originally why I got on iRacing, and just have quite a bit of experience on it. Was a crew chief for 4 or 5 years for a USRIB mod, so it's kind of what I grew up around. My uncles raced, and just love dirt.
All right, man. Well, I was gonna say playing in the dirt is one thing, but racing it's another. Obviously, you knew exactly what to do. Is this your car of choice here on the system?
Honestly, I prefer the super late models. I think they got about 150 or 200 more horsepower. It takes a little more throttle control, and they're they're a little more fun. The pros they put on a good show too, but definitely prefer the super late models compared to the pros.
All right. I heard you were the king of restarts out there. Mr. Pennington behind you could not seem to find out a method to try to run you down or put you into the wall or anything to get around you. And there was definitely a lot of fighting in the background. If this, I asked him if this had gone double the laps, do you think the outcome would have been the same or different?
That's a good question. Once I found out that the caution laps were counting, I decided to not save tire at all. So I was basically not full throttle, but I was pushing the car the entire lap. If it was 80 laps or if caution laps didn't count, who knows? I know there's a couple guys deeper in the field that were saving a little bit of tire, but I think I don't know. I think me and Coy probably still finish 1-2, whether it's reversed with me and him or not. It would have probably been pretty close.
All right, Kevin. Haven't seen you up front here. Well, not in winter circle yet. When we get to the asphalt, seeing you coming off a win here. Yeah, it's a non-points race, but is this maybe a little hint to, all right, well, now you get a little taste of victory. Now can you put it on the points board?
I hope so. I mean, it's definitely a confidence boost. I think we're already did qualifying for Pocono last week, so I'm sitting on the pole for Pocono, so that just adds to the momentum. But we're gonna try to keep this number 30 rolling.
All right, Kevin. Shout out time for sponsors in the car and people out here watching you.
Yeah, just big thanks to you and Stella for doing the broadcast every week for us, and the admins of NORA. They deal with a lot and they put up with a lot, and shout out to obviously my teammates over at RCR and Fast House, and gotta thank my wife for letting me get on here and play around on a Monday night.
All right, Kevin, congratulations on your win here, buddy. And I hope Pocono works out for you. The tricky triangle is not very nice to a whole lot of drivers out there, and some are cussing at the end, and some are just wondering what the heck happened for 80 laps. So we'll see how you fare out there, and congratulations on your win here tonight.
Yep, thank you, Patrick.
Yep. All right, Kevin Ballmer coming in that number 1 position. So Kevin Ballmer, Coy Pennington, and Josh Conover 1, 2, and 3. Kyle Rochelle was our 4th place finisher next to Logan Monteith. Vincent Arthur finished in 6th. Kurt Quist, we saw how he was doing out there for a little bit. He came in 7th. Blake Hoppy was working on 8th. Matthew George looks like he fell a few positions to get to 9th. And Cody Reeder actually ended up finishing in 10th. Now, Dustin Kleba said he was out there fighting there with Josh Conover. Unfortunately, Kleba fell all the way down to the 14th position, and Tyler DeTalon unable to recover, sitting down in the 15th spot. Hate to see the guy finally show back up, and we get him out there on the track, and then he's kind of smoked and taken out, but that'll be all right. Hopefully, we'll see him back on the asphalt. All right, rough time here tonight, especially for us here at SimTraX. I'm at a loss of words. It was a tough run. I was at least able to get you guys back so you could at least catch the race as I battle it here on my side. I thank you again for all you guys who did stick it out and wait for me to rejoin to see if we can catch the second half here of the race. I think if the caution laps had not been counting, we would have caught a lot more of the race. But we're just about 30 seconds off the mark. But that should do it here for us at SimTraX Broadcasting. This time I'll be signing off on purpose and not by accident from an act of God out there taking the power out. So I'll see you guys next week at Pocono for the National Oval Racing Association Gen 4 Cup Series. Until then, be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you at Pocono, guys.